what's up, folks? Welcome back to On Texas Football. Welcome back to the Winning Drive, the prime time edition. I'm lifetime Longhorn Rod Davis. Pleased to be joined by another lifetime Longhorn, the young prodigy CJ Vogel. Coach will be joining us a little bit later on. He's coming up a little bit later on in the show. Also on Mondays, we usually have Stevie Lee, lifetime Longhorn, my former teammate, come on. So he could be coming on a little bit later on in the show as well. We got some topics. There's some Heisman odds out that I want to get CJ's thoughts about. There's also an interesting new metric, supporting cast rankings and ratings that I want to get into as it relates to Texas last season in 2025. And we'll also look forward to the spring for Texas. I got a couple of questions for CJ and the panel about spring football coming up for the Longhorns. All that, but of course, you guys drive the show any direction you want to. Throw out your questions, comments. We'll try to address as many of them as we can. Super chats always jump to the front of the line. You can interrupt the show at any time. What's up, CB? Appreciate you always keeping track of the birthdays and anniversaries. Happy birthday to Keelan Robinson. Didn't even know that. Stevie had a birthday on Valentine's Day. Shout out to Stevie. I did send him a Valentine's Day birthday wishes out there. So shout out to Stevie Lee. He also said Anthony Hill, he said celebrated a birthday. So happy birthday to all those guys. Like I said, we appreciate CB keeping up with those things. All right. Before we dive into things, CJ, how's it going for you, brother? How you feeling?
Another week down in February. I mean, we're just chugging along over here. We're really in kind of just the dead of the off season. So look, I know we posted some notes on winter conditioning last Friday. We did a couple videos over the weekend. If you haven't seen them yet, please go check them out. But look, it was a big weekend. The original, what is that? Original dash Rip Rock? Is that what it is? I don't know. That's a lot of words going in there. 10-0 this weekend. It was a lot of wins for the Longhorns. Baseball 3-0. Softball took care of business. Men's and women's tennis took up big wins. And, of course, men's basketball with a big road victory over Missouri. So, look, Rod, they're keeping us afloat right now because I know it's pretty slow right now in the news world, especially around Texas football. But a lot of winning going on for the rest of the Longhorn athletic department.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. And shout outs because season just starting up for Texas baseball and Texas softball with the Texas men's basketball team starting to find their groove a little bit. And the women, we know that Vic Schaefer, man, he's tough on the ladies because the standard is really high. They got a championship standard at this point. They got back to their winning ways. But man, Vic Schaefer, I had never heard him be that tough, that hard on the ladies. After that loss a couple of weeks ago. So give shout out to them for getting back on the winning track too. All right, we'll get into some spring football news, notes, and nuggets. I want to dive into that. But first, I want to get into this official visitor list update. CJ, if you don't mind, I know there's a reference to it at ontexasfootball.com. It's more like official business, but you do have an update on the official visitor list for the folks out there who are keeping up. Would you give them an update?
Yeah, Texas now up to 18 visitors by my count at the moment for the month of June. The latest comes from Waco running back Lathan Wisnton, who Jerry Hamilton put out earlier today. He broke the news on that story. So again, one of the top in-state running backs now set to officially visit the Texas Longhorns June 12th through 14th. Again, now up to 18 official visitors. That June 12th weekend setting up to be a pretty important weekend. Alvin Mosley over the weekend announced that would be the weekend he will be taking a Texas official visit. Ishmael Kamara out of Gilmer, Brian Swanson out of South Oak Cliff. Both big-time offensive linemen are set to officially visit in June 12th as well. Then you have two Georgia linebackers, Joaquin Gouda and Jeremiah Culpepper, all coming in on June 12th. So we know Texas is set for really 3 big weekends at the moment. 17 of the 18 fall on June 5th, 12th, and 19th. That's what we're monitoring at the moment. We have a full list and thread going over on ontexasfootball.com as well. So be sure to go over to the site, check that out for the latest up-to-the-minute updates on official visitors. But right now, Wisnton and Mosley, 2 of the newest additions to this group, if you will. 2 guys that really talented. We'll see how everything falls out in the month of June.
All right. Is there I see Ryan here says high school, not a big deal. It's 2026 or bust for this staff. I do feel like a lot of Longhorn. I feel that vibe, actually.
Yeah, I believe that.
I'm not in recruiting as deep as CJ or Jerry or Bobby, Jeff. Of course, I mean you guys are fantastic. I mean CJ gets eyes on these guys, travels to high schools around the country. You guys are some of the best in the business at it. But I do feel like among Longhorn fans right now in the bubble that they care less about this is probably the least they've cared about high school recruiting in a long time.
Yes.
Feel right? You feel that vibe? I feel like usually high school recruiting, I mean, Longhorn fans, they can't get enough of it. Like, give me the update, give me the metrics on this guy, give me the measurables on this guy. I want to know more. And sometimes I'm like, man, I got to catch up. I remember literally thinking I got to do more research on high school recruiting. And I remember breaking out my notes and doing that. And I feel like now, the short time I've been on it, I hadn't been on it long. I've been on this probably 4-5 years now, somewhere around there, maybe a little bit less. But you guys have been in it longer than me. So you tell me, CJ, I feel like for Longhorn fans, and maybe this is something that's a microcosm of what's happening all across college football. I don't know. But they care. This is the least they've cared about high school recruiting. Not that they don't care at all. They still care. But there's more of a sense of like, no. This is the here and now. We're in the moment now. We're in the present. I'm not focused on the future. I'm not really focused on what's happened in the past. We're living literally in the present. And I feel like I don't know, maybe that's a vibe or maybe that's a trend. I don't know.
I tend to agree with you as well. Look, it's just kind of the fact of the matter across all of college football recruiting. Your mercenaries probably take more importance on when you construct your team, your armies, if you will, than the guys that are just coming up through the ranks and just graduating high school, right? So that makes sense, and that's kind of what we're seeing in college football at the moment. And it's unfortunate because some of the best stories of what this industry and college football is built upon is the recruiting back and forth. So of late minute flips or guys that commit and go on record and say something outlandish, and you sit there and you say, all right, well, that builds kind of that, expectation or animosity towards another school in their college football career. And I think that's slipping just a little bit. You get that a little bit, right? We saw that with Parker Livingston going from Texas to Oklahoma. Yeah. But no, I'm with you. It's just, it's all about immediacy in today's college football day. So high school recruiting kind of fallen. It's slipping a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it's just a sign of the times because you brought up a great point about the stories you would follow from the young guys out of high school, the cool storylines out of high school, whatever it may be, and then in college, and then you get to kind of follow, and you almost become disconnected to this player because you followed their story all the way through. And now you really don't get that because guys transfer, number one. And then, like I said, there's less, I don't know, less importance, but definitely less for the fans. Less passion, I feel like, at this point, directed at recruiting. It's still passion, but it's passion about the portal and passion about other stuff, not necessarily about recruiting like it used to be.
Well, it's the guys that get in the class really early and they get really vocal on social media or in interviews, and they say, hey, I'm going to build this class, right? Yeah. I'm proud to be where I'm at. I'm going to be a future Longhorn. I'm going to construct the best class in the country and go recruit. And you don't really hear that now. And that's unfortunate, right? Because that's a lot of how most of these kids back then built a lot of, that fandom of, the pride of playing for Texas or wanting to be a Longhorn, and resonates with the fans. And now you got a fan favorite from whenever they step foot on campus. And that's not necessarily you see very often. Yep,
you're right about that. Lobo Brad said, us Texas fans are connected to winning, Rod. I get that, no doubt. Hey, trust me, I know it. I know it all too well. I was on teams that won 11 games at Texas and still felt like, I think we disappointed. The fans. And that's the standard, because trust me, I'm not complaining about that either. I like this question from CB real quick before we get down into some of the conversation and some of the topics, because Robert Duvall, the great actor, I don't even know if CJ, I'm sure CJ has seen a lot of Robert Duvall films. Don't even know it. He said, in honor of the late Robert Duvall who passed away, who is Sark's consigliere? Because Robert Duvall obviously was in the Godfather films. That's a good question. I like that. By the way, CB. That's why I love my man CB. CB's one of my day one folks. I know a lot of y'all are day one folks for me who've been listening to me since I was on the zone from when I first came back for playing in the league and that kind of stuff. And I appreciate the day ones. That's why I love my man CB. He's a day one. But in honor of the late great Robert Duvall passing away, maybe it was yesterday they passed away. Who is the consigliere? Who is the second in charge to Steve Sarkisian? Is it simply Brandon Harris?
It simply is.
Okay. Yeah. I felt like that, but then because
to simplify the answer, I mean, Sark makes every decision in that room.
Yeah.
It gets signed off by Brandon Harris. And look, the two have put together really talented classes, both portal, high school, but they are the masterminds behind where Texas goes on the recruiting trail, without a doubt.
I think he's right. I agree. It's got to be Brandon Harris. You would say Coach Flood, but he ain't called the plays. He's the recruiting coordinator almost. And Brandon Harris personnel decisions have more in my impact on the program. Has CJ seen The Godfather? Ooh,
I have. I watched it like 5 years ago on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, there you go. You watched how many? 1, 2?
Oh, just 3? One.
Oh, you just watched. You only which Godfather did you watch? Then?
The first.
Okay. Well, you got that's good, but
you don't. I heard what you don't talk about the third one, right? Third one was bad. Is that what they say?
I think you're right. Yes, but I'm just saying you should at least watch them.
You should be. We'll get to it. What's going on, Coach?
What's up, Coach? How you doing?
Speaking of The Godfather.
Hey, Coach. What's your favorite Robert Duvall film?
Oh man, it's a series.
Lonesome Dove.
Lonesome Dove, but also what's the one about the lion?
Wasn't it him?
Where the lions live, or
lions?
It was a later one.
Secondhand Lion? No. Oh no.
It's
a series.
Secondhand Lions?
No, it's not. There it is. Secondhand Lion.
Secondhand Lions.
Oh,
okay.
I never seen it.
I mean, that's a newer one. Apocalypse Now was a good movie too. My old buddy Randall Tex Cobb was in that. Remember Randall Tex Cobb? Holmes beat the dog out of him, and y'all don't remember that. That was back in the 80s. He was good in open range too, though.
He was good in open range. He was good in westerns. I know, like Robert Duvall was great. He was always great.
Robert Duvall is to this generation what John Wayne was to my generation.
I can see that. Yeah. Was good in Days of Thunder too. No, just shot of it. I like that. That was good. I have not seen Secondhand Lions, actually. I'll admit that. I've not. Got to go check it out.
It's different. It's a different movie, but he plays good. And then wasn't there a golf movie he was in, Utopia?
Maybe I don't know. I know he was in the Days of Thunder though. Was legit.
All I saw was kicking and screaming, and I said he checks the box for me.
Yeah, he got into comedy late in his life, which actually was pretty good. He was good in some of the comedy stuff, actually. All right, there you go. Hey, thank you, CB, for getting us into the Robert Duvall conversation. All right, Coach, how are you doing? We appreciate you joining us. How's everything going with you?
Doing good. My head's getting clearer every day.
Nice.
Glad
you're feeling better. Glad you're feeling better. All right, I got a question for the panel now that Coach is here. Here's my question for the panel. What's the one area where you want to see Arch improve the most? Sorry, Coach, I put you on the hot seat as soon as you got on the show. But I didn't want to throw out the question without having the whole group here. We've talked about he's doing great.
I think maybe he's gotten over the hump on this, but consistency.
Yeah.
Not having slumps. It seems like just those 2 or 3 throws a game where you're like, whoa, where did that come from? And I feel like he's phasing out of that part of his career. But I mean, there's not a lot of knocks on him. I mean, he's avoiding the rush well. He's seeing downfield. He's throwing the ball well downfield. He just, just occasionally just one of those like, wow, where did that throw come from?
Yep. I'll add to that. Ryan Nelson says the easy throws. I mean, just any screen throw. I feel like at times, it's like a pitcher picking off the first base and doesn't necessarily have, that rhythm and motion down, if that makes sense. And, there were a few throws, especially late in the year, where to Ryan Wingo, he's reaching up left and right. And it's, out in front of him, and it's kind of throwing off the timing of, some of your jailbreaks or screen passes where your offensive linemen get out in front. And that's something I'm looking forward to, because aside from just those short, quick screen passes, it's a lot of those rub routes. And we saw that against Texas A&M, I think. That's something to me where, you don't need to throw 100 miles per hour for those passes. But when you're caught up in the moment of the game, I'm sure it's much more difficult to do than say. So that's kind of where I'm going as well. Just consistency to Coach's point as well in that area.
No, I like that. I think that kind of goes with somebody else's saying start faster. I think that's part of the consistency thing too, just a little bit more consistency over on the game. I like the easy throws, but the crossers too. Cisco, that's what I was going with when Cisco brought up the crossing routes. I think he has struggled on some of those crossing routes. And the reason that's so important is because it's such a big part of Sark's offense. Sark loves the crossers, the over-unders, those deep rainbow crossers. I mean, he's big on those. And
I think that's the hardest throw to throw for a quarterback. It really is, because if you throw a stop route, obviously, if you throw, an out route, or you throw a post or those. There's very, receivers can adjust to those balls.
Yeah.
On those crossers, it's got to be on the money.
You throw it behind him, he's one.
Yeah. You throw it behind him, or throw it too high, he could be dead in the water. Get somebody hurt that way. So that's the hardest throw for a quarterback to make, because there's no room for error in that. Yeah. Like I said, if it's stop route, the receiver can go either way and get it or whatever. And if it's an up and over pass, the receiver can speed up, slow down, back shoulder, whatever. But that's a hard throw to make. Yeah,
I think that's for me. Yeah, it seems like for him, that's the toughest throw for him to make, the crossing routes with consistency. And I think it's a lot of it's anticipation. Some of it's just it could be touch, because sometimes a guy, a defender close, and you got to put some touch on to get it over one guy and underneath another defender. So I just think for Sark and his offense, considering how important that is, that's where I want to see him improve the most this offseason. Is across it. But I like what CJ brought up too. Those quick ones. See, the quick game, whatever the quick game is. Quick game RPO is a part of the quick game. Just your short routes are a part of the quick game. The screen routes are a big part of that quick game. All of that, and he's got to get better at that. Just make sure that's completely accurate. That was like that asset for Quinn. Quinn was naturally gifted at just putting the ball placement on quick game. Arch is really good at that on the long ball. His ball placement from the long ball is kind of naturally really accurate, but in the quick game sometimes he struggles, I think, to put the ball at least where a guy can catch it and run. You can catch it, but you have to get yak yards and get yards after the catch. So all right, that's just a question I thought, because we've talked. I mean, he's improved tremendously. I mean, he's been phenomenal. Just thought, like, where does he need to improve? In watching like the stuff you guys brought up too, and I thought crossing routes were a big part of that. All right, before we move on, we got some super chats. Let's thank our friends over at Von Lane. Before we move on, as our lead sponsor for tonight's program, we appreciate Von Lane, and you will as well. Von Lane does a great job, folks, getting you where you need to be and getting you there fast and getting you there comfortably. And it is probably the most luxurious way for you to travel on the road these days. I know some of you out there still have to get to these work conferences, still got to get to all these meetings, and you're still traveling short routes, flying in between these major cities, or driving yourself in between these major cities, and that can be a bit of a hassle. Also can be a bit dangerous. Our friends on over at Von Lane offer you a first-class travel experience on the ground. You board in minutes at a private hotel terminal, settle into one of just 22 oversized leather seats. You enjoy complimentary Wi-Fi, snacks, beverages, and hot towel service on every trip. And on select departures, Von Lane also offers complimentary meals, making travel time generally productive and or relaxing for you. And also, they're actually upgrading their entire Wi-Fi across the entire fleet with Starlink internet, making your Wi-Fi even faster and reliable as well. So if you want to work on these Von Lane trips, I've done it as well. I've done it traveling to Houston, traveling to DFW. It's a great experience. My wife has taken the Von Lane several times too. They serve Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Plano, the Woodlands, Nashville, Memphis, Atlanta, and Knoxville. And if you're traveling with a team, you can charter your own Von Lane, designing the trip from pickup to drop off, or you can visit vonlane.com. That's VONLANE.com. And if it's your first time riding, you can enter the code OTF26 at checkout to receive $20 off your first trip with Von Lane. That's Von Lane, your private jet on wheels. All right. I think Stevie Lee is here. Is he here? Stevie, I apologize. I didn't know you was here. My bad. And
what's going on, Stevie?
Happy birthday, Stevie.
Happy birthday, Stevie.
Appreciate it, guys, man. It was a great weekend. I turned 45 this year, and 45th birthday is supposed to be a big birthday, but I was in the gym with my daughter playing volleyball.
Getting after it. Love it. It's a beautiful time.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So it was fun, though. I had a really good time.
How good are you at volleyball now? Because did both your daughters play volleyball or just one?
Both of them.
So how good are you at volleyball now? Because I know now you know technique, fundamentals. What are you good? Can you play some volleyball? Like just pick up volleyball now?
I can play at the net, and that's it.
And he does the old church league. Church league serve.
That's what I'm saying. Stevie, you should have some skill by now, bro. You had two daughters that played.
I guess I got a little skill, man, but I didn't know anything about volleyball until my daughter got into it. My oldest daughter, about 10, 11 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I went out and got I still got it in my bedroom. It's Volleyball for Dummies book. I didn't know all the rotations because it's crazy, man. The rotations and the libero, and when the libero comes in for the middle, and then the middle comes out, and then I just didn't know it all. But that book helped me out, and I still don't know it.
So now you feel, at least you don't feel like an ignoramus now. Like
exactly, I know enough to say, yeah, that's her, and this is her. But then when you try to get strategy in there, I'm done. So
what positions did they play?
So my oldest daughter, she's at Avila University up in Kansas City, Missouri. She's a outside or right. They got her at right side right now.
Okay.
So she's shorter because I married a short woman. Athletic short woman, yes.
Athletic.
Yeah, but let's be honest. My kids got their athletic ability from me, you know. So, let's be honest. She's not listening right now. So
it's good you're saying that after your birthday.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what she got to say about that.
Yeah. So my oldest daughter, she can't jump, and so she can. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why she's playing right side. And then my youngest daughter, she's just a baller. Like she doesn't let the ball hit the floor. I feel like we got to stop and get ice every time she leaves the tournament because she is on the floor all day, every day in the gym. And she loves being in the gym. Like her club wants to move her over to setter. So as a father, I gotta do everything to facilitate that for her. So she came home on Wednesday and it's like, Dad, is there a gym that we can find to go and get some balls up? And I was like, yeah, let's go do it. You know, and she's on the shorter side as well, but moving her to she can hit as well, like hit from the outside or the right side. but moving her to setter is going to be the big play for her. And so she's really, really learning. All her coaches, all her private coaches are saying that she's doing really well. So I'm really proud of her and ready, to take that second step. She was a sophomore last year on varsity, and they went pretty deep into the playoffs last year. So that's my little baller right there. My other one, she's the doctor. The little one, she's the baller.
But volleyball is crazy. I mean, if you watch volleyball live, even if you watch it on TV, you watch the Longhorns, it's unbelievable how quick they have to react and how fast. How many miles per hour is that ball coming when somebody spikes that thing?
Yeah, it's
I don't even know how they even have time to react, but it's crazy the instinct those girls have.
Yeah. So for the last 4 years, I've been in a volleyball gym watching my daughters play volleyball for my birthday. So it's par for the course.
Bringing you, you like it. That's what you talking about, man. You like to see him compete, man. You know that. I know you like to see him compete. All right, I asked the panel this. I won't keep you long, Stevie, because you were waiting longer than you should have, and I apologize about that. Where do you want to see Arch improve the most?
Yeah, I heard that conversation, man. Golly, and you guys were right about those crossing routes. But if I'm being honest, man, I want to, and he didn't have to improve on this. I just want to see him pull it down and run it for a little bit more. He's a good runner, so I don't think he has to improve on it. But I like to see us use him running the ball a little bit more. And he's tough as nails. We know that he can stay in the game. So take some hits and all that stuff. We don't want him to take big hits, but pull the ball down and actually run with it, and also rolling him out and that run pass option. So and that's gonna soften a lot of defenses up that we play. So they got to watch spy him, which will open up the crossing routes. And if they don't spy him, he go ahead and run it like that. That's why I'm really excited about this season, man. We got weapons, and we got a kid that's got another year on the Sarkisian's playbook. So I'm looking forward to that.
I think that's actually really interesting, right? And I don't think we saw it enough this year, especially with the offensive line that was as iffy as it was the designed rollouts, right? And we saw Texas get under center and, do the full play action, not as many bootlegs, but I wonder why that was the case because, Stevie, to your point, Arch's legs were so dynamic towards the back end. That's just another element that your frontline defenders have to kind of plan against. So I wonder if that will be a piece of the puzzle because what we've seen with Texas is just, hey, here's your pocket. Use your arm to get the ball to the guys downfield. But I like that more. And to your point as well, Stevie, making sure that he doesn't take those big hits because it's been twice now where he's taken a hit and had to leave a football game. Texas been fortunate. It hasn't been a lot of time that he's had to miss necessarily, but he's your guy. Don't want him getting dinged up like that anymore.
Yeah.
I personally like the bootlegs, because with the sprint out, everybody's flowing with you. With the bootleg, some guys may get caught up, chasing the back. If he's just faking a jet sweep or faking, I'm talking about a real bootleg where a guy's coming full speed the other way and then he fakes it and goes opposite. He doesn't seem to have quite as many defenders flowing his direction as he does in a sprint out.
Yeah.
They have some really good blocking on the edge on the sprint outs.
And we know Sark likes that. Hell, he was putting Arch on the center, remember, early in the season and running some of those bootleg waggle concepts. So he likes that. And I agree now that and you're right, Stevie, he should tuck it and run it more often. He was averaging over 9 yards per rush on scrambles versus power 4 opponents this year. So he should tuck it and run it more often. He's really good. And he's averaging over 11 yards per attempt in scramble drill throws. Like he's really good in those situations. All right. He also says that his grandfather told him to get down and get out of bounds. And that's what he says every time they end the conversation. So grandpa is trying to, lead him down the right path. Last question I got for you. If I ask you, if I say it's a make or break spring football for blank, what player would you put in that blank? It's a make or break spring football season for who?
Damn it, man. Oh, I don't know.
He just put us on the spot earlier, Stevie.
Yeah,
so it's not
I got these questions. I'm just
That's a great question, though. That's a great question. You got to give me some time to think about that.
Somebody right now is thinking to themselves, if this spring don't work out for me, I'm gone. Like, who is that guy? I'm sure it's like 5 or 6 of them, probably more than that.
Yeah, it's a bunch of them.
And the coaches are probably thinking the same thing. If this guy don't show me something this spring, I'm probably going to start moving on in my recruitment and the approach.
So in the chat, somebody said a name, and I don't want to say it out loud.
Don't say it out loud. I know you. That's hard too. Please go ahead and say it. Say it, Steve. Say it.
Who is Coca Paul? I'm just saying that. Y'all go look in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, come on. It's definitely going to work out for him. He's got an easy job. Alex January. I feel like Jonah Williams.
Jamie French for me.
Oh. I love how
there's a few, y'all. There's a few.
Good.
He hasn't been quite what I hoped he would be up to this point.
That's good. That is good.
CJ, what are you thinking there?
That's good, though.
I'm thinking there are a lot of names here that kind of fall in this category. Look,
Steve's got you got a list on CJ.
Well, it's all of it's the same kind of situation, and we had this conversation a little bit earlier, Rod, for an episode that's coming out tomorrow, I believe, with Jeff Howe, and it's when you get to that second year, are you contributing or are you not? And do you stick around for a third if you don't contribute in that second year? You know, you got to earn your way into the circle of trust, right? What does that mean for the Kalik Lockett's of the world, right? You know, and that's something that I think you look at and you say, you know, it's make or break going into year 2. If you don't contribute now, do you ever? And so there's a lot of guys, I think, that fall into that conversation, because how many truly break out in year 3? I don't think that there are that many. And I don't think that they're more willing to stay now than what we've seen in previous iterations of college football either.
I like the Vosick one too. That's good. The Vosick one. James Simon is the good one.
James Simon's going to be tough because look at what's ahead of him, right? You know, 2 all-conference backs. Derek Cooper comes in. That's a lot. I mean, you got to fight for every rep that you get there.
Yeah, I was going to say James Simon. I didn't want to because he's a hometown boy from Shreveport. But, yeah, it's a lot of depth in front of him. So, you know, he's going to have to really button down or, and more power to him if he finds another place, or he may, I don't know how good his hands are, maybe go out to a slot, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys for the participation. We appreciate all the guys in the chat, our gals as well. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you. Appreciate you always joining us on a Monday. Sorry we took so long to get to you, man. We know you got obviously limited time, so we appreciate you taking the time with us.
No, it's all good, man. I can you and CJ, y'all are good, but I can listen to Coach talk all day. So I was just talking, listening.
Come on.
All right, Stevie.
Oh, and y'all missed one with Duvall, actor Duvall.
Which one? My
favorite movie it wasn't his acting that made it my favorite movie, but one of my favorite movies is Colors, from way back in the day, 1988. Colors. And he had one of the famous lines in that movie that I use today with my nephews. He said, "There's 2 bulls on a hill, an old bull and a young bull. The young bull looked up at the old bull and said, 'Let's run down here and do one of these cows.'" Well, Robert Duvall said, "Son, why don't we walk down the hill and do them all?"
Oh, yeah. I remember that line. Yes. Yes.
Favorite, that's one of my favorites right there. And Bill Duvall executed it well. I probably didn't do it justice.
No, you did.
And rest in peace.
I remember the quote now too. Well done. And you made it PG-13. So
Yeah.
thank you.
All
right, thank you,
PG-13. And then that was a young Sean Penn. Young Sean Penn in that movie, too.
Ice-T in there. Ice-T in the colors.
Yeah.
Colors.
The song, Colors.
Some of y'all don't even get the reference.
I'm going to jump in my truck right now and put that song on.
You mean Detective Tutuola. There you go. That's who he is.
Yeah, there you go. So you remember it, man.
Yeah, there you go. All right, bro. Thank you, man. Good talking to you. Get the family out there.
Thanks, Stevie.
Nice. And Stevie, coming to us courtesy of Hardgrove Roofing. Let me throw that out there. Let me not forget the fine folks at Hardgrove Roofing. Check out hardgroveroofing.com, 512-645-3202. Know who's on your roof with our friends over at Hardgrove Roofing. They have offices all over Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. If you need a roof inspection or you need someone to come out and look at your roof or you just need a new roof, leave it to the fine folks and the professionals over at Hardgrove Roofing. They're offering a free roof inspection today. If you reach out, 512-645-3202. So reach out to hardgroveroofing.com. CB says that it's actually Ice-T's birthday. Is it Ice-T's birthday for real? Man.
Only CB would know that like that. That's fantastic.
Who would know that? Thank you, CB. There you go. Who knew it was Ice-T's birthday? I just brought up Detective Tutuola because Ice-T was in colors, and then boom, now that's what
I wasn't even sure who Ice-T was till I see the pictures.
There you go. Exactly. Now you're like, oh, everybody knows Ice-T. Everybody knows who Ice-T is. But most people don't. You're at your phases where you know Ice-T. You knew Ice-T in the Colors days, or you knew Ice-T when he made a song about doing very bad things to cops. That was that was a pimping phase for Ice-T. I guess he always needs to be pimped. But then he went to his post-rap phase, post-hip-hop, and he got into acting, and now he plays a detective on Law & Order SVU. Boom.
All I know him for doing is buying extended coverage warranty on your car. That's
exactly.
all.
Insurance. It's like you gotta find a post. You gotta use rap, all right, as a vehicle for your post hip hop life because you can't rap forever. Rap is like football. Rap is like stripping for women. You can't be a stripper forever. You can only strip till you're like 40 something, and after that, ain't nobody gonna be paying you money to take your clothes off. That's just the reality of it. And as a football player, you can only play football for so long. And you got to use that as a vehicle to catapult you into the next life or whatever it's going to be, the plan B. And hip-hop is the same way. Nobody wants to see a 50-some-year-old rapper. You can't, what you rapping about? You're supposed to be a grandfather at that point. You're supposed to have other stuff you're worried about. You can't be rapping about all the stuff and being in the streets and all that kind of stuff. No, nobody wants to hear that. So nobody wants to hear you rapping after 45, stripping after 45. Those things you can't do after 45. So you got to do something else. That's why all the strippers you meet, they're on their way to doing something else. Usually they're
I would just like to say at this time, I am not the one that derailed this show.
No, that's the truth. You ever met a stripper that's like, I'm stripping. That's what I want to be for the rest of my life as a stripper. No, because they don't know I can't do this forever. You got to strip until you can do something else.
Then they become the cocktail waitress.
Yeah, you can do that.
I think, right?
Yeah, exactly. But my point is, you can't do it forever, just like Ice-T couldn't rap forever. But now he's an actor, Detective 212, and sells insurance. But there you go.
There we go.
Good for him. Just got to figure out what your plan B is going to be. Bobby about to text everyone. No, it's just the reality. I'm not being crude or anything. I don't think I'm being crass. I'm just telling the truth about it.
Yeah.
Slow clap, Matthew. Selma Hayek at 59. I know. She looks amazing, by the way. I did see the picture of Selma Hayek. She looks amazing. I can't add her to my big butts list of ladies because she doesn't have anything like that, but she is pretty remarkable. I'll give her that. Okay. Let's move on here. Let's see some super chats before we get too far off the rails. My bad. Mr. Awkward. Perfect timing. Mr. Awkward dude. He says, taught Hunter, hope I pronounce Falave Johnson, his freshman year at St. Augustine in San Diego. Absolute burner and mature beyond his years. Hope he's a Longhorn.
Yes.
Mr. Awkward dude. Wow.
Yes.
Is he a beast?
Matthew, I don't know if it's too quick. Just search his name on Twitter. I think he hit 23 miles per hour on some point this year in game.
Wow.
He's going to be a defensive back. He'll probably play safety. But they give him the ball down there in San Diego pretty often. And whichever clip you're able to find, Matthew, just bring it up real quick. But Honor Falave Johnson will be visiting Texas March 28th. Will Muschamp was down in San Diego to see him in person on January 15th. This kid's a top 20 player in all of the country. And I think that's the exact play, actually, Matthew, that you have right there. This is one of the faster players I've ever seen. And he's special without the football, which I think makes it all the more remarkable. Just see you. 22-7, I think is what they had him at. Yeah. Top 20 player in the 2027 class. Everybody in the country wants him. And Texas right now in the top 5, top 6 that he just released. So Texas making some inroads out west once again. But his burst, his acceleration is as good as anybody that I've seen coming out of high school.
How big is he?
6'1", I want to say.
Oh, wow. Okay. He looks big. Okay, looks big.
What was that?
Bad joke. Sorry.
But no, he looks like he's got good size on him, man. And safety is what they're projecting he's going to be at the next level.
Yes, that's where they're. He even played some linebacker. He was a running back, obviously, that you saw there. But right now, it's all safety. He's 6'1", 190, by the way.
Damn, that's good size too. Coming out of high school.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for the super chat there, Mr. Awkward Dude. We like that. How about this one from Jose? Says, when it comes to recruiting, I think people don't really see it the same due to the fact that 60 to 70% of the kids are going to transfer due to non-playing time and more money from other schools. Thank you, Jose, and totally agree. I just think
I totally agree.
Yeah, less connection to the fans because they don't get to follow and see the stories of these young men from the time they're in high school to the time they're done with their eligibility at Texas. Hell, even to the time they're engaging in whatever their post-football career is. Like Longhorn fans care about that. Yeah. I know that for a fact. If they got a chance to be connected with you all throughout your high school career, college, and then followed you in the NFL and then followed you after, there is a connection. And now the fans don't really have that. And the fans, by the way, yearn for that. They want that. But they won't have it with this next generation. So that's what we talk about, the lifetime Longhorn. Part of it is that connection that you feel with the fans forever. And a lot of these guys won't necessarily have that. So It's just one thing. We got to say goodbye to that. I don't think we're ever getting that back with the new era of college football, guys. That's over.
Which is unfortunate. It is.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you guys. And real quick, Sandman, Raleek Brown's going to wear number 0 on offense, by the way.
Oh, that's claim.
I like it. Hollywood Smothers wearing number 2. We talked about it the last 2 times. Texas had a running back number 2 and number 5, which Derek Cooper will wear. Things worked out pretty well. So now you add a 0 in there. Hopefully it continues. But I got a question for you guys, because this morning, typically when schools come up with, news dumps, it's a Friday afternoon situation. When they have announcements that they're excited for, it comes out Monday morning. You wake up to it so you can talk about it Monday evening, Tuesday, all the way throughout the week. LSU did this morning. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you guys saw it. LSU is the first Power 4 school, first team in the SEC to put corporate logos on jerseys. Yeah. And I know a lot of folks last year didn't like it when Texas announced that, corporate logos were coming to the playing surfaces in Austin, but CDC says that you don't mess with perfection, and that includes the jerseys. But I wanted to get y'all's thoughts on what LSU's doing here with Woodside Energy being their corporate sponsor for the jersey logos.
Do we know how much Woodside Energy is paying? Have they released that number? That's not a real.
Not that I've seen.
Okay. I get it. You need to generate revenue these days. You got to meet that, whatever that number is, the salary cap. So I get why teams are doing it. Texas doesn't have to. They're probably one of the schools that they don't need to generate extra revenue that way. But LSU certainly is not above that. And there are a lot of schools that are not above. And I'm not judging any school for doing it, because I just think it's, once again, a sign of the times when you got to exhaust every possible option to generate revenue. And at one point, I think a lot of the boosters and the donors may get tired of not getting very little return on their investment in terms of this new NIL rev sharing deal too. if that dries up for you, you definitely got to look for other means to generate revenue for the program. So I have no problem with it. I get it. I get it. We got the NASCARification of college football.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It means you got to go fast.
Got it. Coach don't like it though. I can tell. Coach don't like it.
Cheapens things. And I agree with CDC. Don't mess with Texas.
Yep. I'm with you, Coach.
I think there would be people that would say, I'll donate more if you won't do that.
Now, that might be – look, I think if you're CDC, you put it up to kind of a bidding process. Here, put your company logo here. I'll also put kind of a general pot together of, you know, if we can accumulate enough money or enough bids to keep the jerseys clean, well,
there you go.
Keep the Texas jerseys.
No, yeah, Texas, the backlash, the blowback Texas would get for doing something like that. Just a conversation about wearing different colored jerseys and stuff like that has gotten Longhorn fans all riled up. No, this fan base like the classics, and CDC knows that. So I don't think Texas will ever entertain it. But I do think a lot of schools around the country will, because that's easy revenue. Man, that's easy. I don't know how much they're paying, but I bet they're paying a bunch. I bet they're paying a ton for it. And if they're not, then shame on LSU, because the only way you should sell out that to, like you said, to essentially disgrace the uniform should be, you know, for the highest possible dollar figure that you could get. So I don't know how much they're paying. I'm assuming LSU made them pay, you know, a ton. I mean, and I don't know. I know there are some other schools around the country that are doing it, but are they the most high profile? Who's the most high profile school? Very
much the highest profile. I'm assuming, Rod, and I don't know the numbers, but you don't just go get a Jordan Seaton if you don't have the funds. And to get a Jordan Seaton, you're probably going to need a Woodside Energy logo on your jersey to get exactly that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm not judging teams for doing it, because I get it, man. I get it. Like, the numbers that are now being thrown out there about how much these guys are making, and then how you have to rebuild the roster every year, basically, because of the transfer portal. You got to do what you got to do. And that's just the new age of college football. All right, let's get back to the super chats. DMX Kobe says, CJ, been to Papacitos? Is Auburn out recruiting us? Oh, man.
I've been to Papacitos.
Very different questions there.
Yeah, no, I've been to Papados. I need to also include like South Florida in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wouldn't say Auburn's out recruiting us. I know that they landed Davin Moore, Derek Moore, maybe is his name, the defensive lineman from Alabama. Texas was in the top 5. He ends up staying home, top 75 prospect. He told OTF earlier in the month that he wanted to get down to campus. Look, he's a kid from Alabama. You very rarely see those kids not end up at Auburn or Alabama. I don't think there's anything at the moment that thinks that leads me to think Auburn is in a different stratosphere than Texas at the moment.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for the super chat, DMS Kobe. We appreciate that. All right. Get a couple of questions here. Clayton says, how about back shoulder fades? Didn't see that last year and feel like that has to be a part of the offense this year. There are a few things, guys, that I haven't seen much of in the offense recently that I think you're going to get more of with the new weapons that RH has. Like, I like the back shoulder fade. And I want to say, CJ, you brought this up, the slot fade.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you got a big slot in Emmy. So the slot fade should be something that Texas incorporates more. Back shoulder fade, Bobby's been talking about that for the last couple of months. Bobby wants to see more of the back shoulder fade. Cam Coleman has that kind of frame for you to throw that back shoulder fade. I think you should see more kind of 4 verts concepts with all these. Now you got a big slot. You got Cam Coleman on one side, Ryan Wingo stretched on the side. I think it'd be, and whoever that, now you got a Nick Townsend that can run that seam for you at the tight end. And you got a quarterback that's averaging damn near 10 yards per rush on scrambles. So when I send my 4 verts, if you can defend that 4 verts, you probably got to have 2 deep safety to do it. All right. And if you're going to do that, that means you probably going to be short a quarterback spy. So I'm opening up the green grass for Arch, and I'm utilizing all of my weapons on vertical shots down the field, daring a defense to use single high against us. Single high, we're going to eat it alive on full verge. You go too high, that's great. You may cover it, but somebody's going to miss out on spying that quarterback, and we're going to leave it wide open for him or to check it down to Hollywood Smothers or a Malik Brown.
Rod, were they running many back shoulder fades when you were playing?
It was definitely starting to become a trendy, coach, because you had bigger wide receivers back when I played. Like, remember the big giant wide receivers? That was all the craze, and that's why Quentin Jammer was such a, that's why he was such a sought after prospect, because he was a big corner to match up against those bigger wide receivers that have become in vogue in the NFL, and they started throwing those back shoulder fades.
To me, that's the hardest. Yeah. Hardest if it's run correctly. It's one of the hardest passes to stop.
I agree.
Especially if you've got a corner, with his back to the quarterback running, and with that receiver and watching that receiver, and that receiver and quarterback have that timing down just right. It's very difficult to stop, and I would love to see us utilize it more.
Well, Coach, can you speak a little bit more on, building that connection? Because you can't just have any quarterback throw it, right? I mean, the timing with obviously accuracy and anticipation, that has to be the most important aspect of putting that in from the offensive side, right?
Yeah, and it's going to be more of a rope. It's not going to be a high over the top ball. It's going to be it's going to be a more vertical, but parallel pass. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to have a lot of air under it. It's going to be it's going to have to be thrown on the money, where at the last second the receiver comes back and gets it. In my opinion, that's when it's the most dangerous, especially on the goal line. Gosh, it's hard to stop.
It is, and I think when you have a receiver like either Ryan Wingo, it's going to be tougher for him because he doesn't do well in contested catch situations. Like, this is not a strength of his. He's a really good receiver, but he's not great in contested catch situations. Cam Coleman's really good in those. Like, that's actually his expertise. He shines in contested catch situations. He's also, his frame lends a DB like me to think, I got to stay on top of him. I got to stay on the upfield shoulder. As you know, Coach, if I'm on the upfield shoulder and that ball's thrown, like you said, right at the back of that head, that receiver on the line, it's almost impossible for me to stop, in enough time to be able to break that pass up, unless I'm literally looking back at the receiver, at the quarterback. And if you can't look at the receiver through the receiver to the sideline and also look back this way, it's impossible. Yeah. So once you got that cornerback's back turned in man coverage and he's on the upfield shoulder, if your quarterback's on the money, it is impossible to stop it. It's impossible. Mm-hmm. It's impossible. He's just going to catch it on the money every time. So that's why, as a DB, I can tell you, Coach is right. If the timing is right, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, Indiana's perfected it with two quarterbacks. Yes. Curtis Rourke and Fernando Mendoza, they've been spectacular at it. Obviously, big piece of their offense over the last few years. It feels like it's a chunk play when executed successfully every time.
Yep.
And we haven't seen it a lot. In fact, really the only time in my memory that recently I can recall it was the Texas versus TCU in Fort Worth to seal it to Adonai Mitchell. And even then, it felt like that was kind of a fluttered pass, or Quinn was hit at the line, and the ball just kind of it floated. Right, it was a rainbow rather than a bullet, to your point, Coach. And I'd love to see more of it. That in the slot fade, because that again is also a very difficult pass to defend, even when in great coverage.
Yep, that's a good. I remember that actually. Now you said it, I remember it, and it did. He caught it like a back shoulder fade. I don't know if it was designed that way.
I don't know.
But he's one of those receivers though that it's a back shoulder fade is great for him. His frame, body control. That's why I think Emmett Mosley and Cam Coleman would both be really good at back shoulder fades. Ryan Wingo, I'm not so sure. There are ways to weaponize Ryan Wingo. I mean,
put Khalil Lockett in there.
Exactly. Contested catch guys. That catch he had, that Khalil Lockett catch was great in the bowl game. So I think that's where it is. Like I said, Ryan Wingo, he's great. He's your yak daddy, right? He was second in the country in yards per reception on throws behind the line of scrimmage. He's a great yak daddy. He can take the top off the defense because he's got the most probably straight line speed among your wide receivers. But contested catch is a different skill set. Mm-hmm. And that's what you need when you're doing that back shoulder fade. Probably going to need that with the slot fade a little bit too. You're going to need some of that as well. But that's a good conversation. There are going to be some routes and concepts that come back in this offense, or at least that are now introduced in this offense that we've never seen before, because he's never had this complement or this, unique combination of talent at the skill positions. All right, IBSR 10 says, I've asked this before. Don't know if y'all have ever answered it, but why do you think we can get players all over the field, but not so much O linemen? Hook 'em. That is good. I mean, yeah, skill position wise, Sark has not had problems, right? He's gotten top receivers out of the portal. You just looked at it. You got 2 of the top running backs out of the portal this time. Sark's gotten good quarterbacks out of the portal with the Quinn Ewers the top. So skill position wise, I don't think they haven't looked really for linemen in the portal and stuff like that either. And when you bring in linemen via traditional recruiting, it takes a while. I mean, unless you get a Kelvin Banks, of course, we'd all love a Kelvin Banks, but that's a prodigy. And those guys are 1 in 1,000, right? You just don't get many of those guys that can start at an All-American caliber level their freshman year. So usually bring in old linemen, you need to develop them. That takes a couple of years. Put them in a strength and conditioning program, put them in nutrition and diet programs, and they don't contribute right away. And then you bring them in the portal. Texas, like I said, this is the first time they've actually been focused on O-linemen in the portal. Yeah, and you may argue they should have been focused earlier on O-linemen in the portal. I don't disagree with that, but this was the first cycle that we saw them try to do it. And yes, they got some, but they didn't get as much, I think, as they wanted, as many proven commodities as they wanted. They got Siani, they got Dylan Sikorsky in the portal. We'll see what the Lawrence Seymour thing works out, but I think they wanted to do more in the portal. But like I said, maybe it's because maybe O-line in the portal is a tougher thing to acquire as well. Like I think you get a good O-lineman, you don't let them leave if you can keep them, especially experienced, proven guys. What are your thoughts?
How many guys did Indiana on their offensive line? How many of those guys came off the portal?
Oh, that's good.
That is good.
I'll look that up. Yeah, I'll look that up, Coach. That's a good question.
Their center definitely did. He came from Notre Dame because he played in the national championship the year before. Ray Lynch was a guy who was there from the start. I believe the left tackle was there from the start. I couldn't tell the rest, however. But it's interesting. I kind of look at the offensive line kind of like your point guard in basketball. And what I mean by that is the guys that in basketball, if you're running the same system year after year, your point guard is going to be significantly better than a 1-year plug and place, kind of just insert yourself into the system. Offensive line is very much the same. And then you get to be molded and kind of, built like a clay man, if you will, by the offensive line coach and the head coach to what the scheme fits. And, that's tough with a 1-year mercenary out of the portal. So yeah, I see the philosophy of going out and, only wanting and trusting your high school guys, but hey, they're good players in the portal. And Texas has added 2 or 3 this year that are certainly going to help in the on the offensive line specifically this year too.
Yeah, I like Siani. Siani's a good player they got out of the portal. We'll see about Sikorsky. If he takes a step, who knows? I mean, Sikorsky ended up being a really pivotal piece for you as well. And it allows you to try to get more combinations to put your best 5 O-linemen out there, which is part of the experiment of moving Brandon Baker, or bumping Brandon Baker inside. All right, thank you, IBS. Sorry, 10. We appreciate that. How about this one from Koa_Paul 3977 says Shipley Ranch logo would look good though on them jerseys. Boom, right there. Put that on them jerseys right there. Boom.
No.
I think it looked good too, man. I think that looked good.
It looks good on caps, but there's not any logo that looks good enough to put on a Texas jersey, in my opinion.
Oh man, I love
unless
it.
It's the United States flag.
That I agree. I like that. Ben South EC, maybe it's Ben SEC, says, when does the spring ball start? March. Is it? When's spring ball? March 13th?
9th.
9th. Thank you, CJ. March 9th.
Coming soon.
It's fast on the horizon. Like, it's coming up really quickly, actually. And I think it's going to be an important spring for Texas because you got a lot of new pieces, mostly from a team building perspective. Yeah, you got some position battles, and we actually released some videos talking about that. But the team building is going to be interesting because you don't even have all your pieces available. Some guys are coming off an injury, and they won't be available. Sark obviously is not going to try to work these guys too much in spring, especially the proven commodities. But the team building aspect, because and DKW brought this up the other day, a lot of new players, a lot of new leaders on the team. And a lot of new guys that at least the current leaders, or at least the guys who were here last season, the returning leaders on the team, they need to make sure that they expedite the team building and the team connecting together. They got to figure out how to make that happen quicker. So it'll be interesting from that aspect, like who takes the leadership reins, who is trying to take ownership of this team, because it needs to be a player-led team, but it's got to happen fast. The player-led aspect. All right.
I got a little bit of breaking news here for you guys. Real quick, Lincoln Maggio, 2027 offensive lineman out of Oceanside, California, just told OTF that he will be on campus March 28th. So we're talking about spring football and how important it is for the team, obviously. Well, another big-time West Coast offensive lineman will visit the Longhorns, Kyle Flood, Steve Sarkisian, March 28th. That is going to be one of the bigger weekends that we see in the spring. Right now, the number one interior offensive lineman in the state of California. On top of that, a high four-star prospect in the composite rankings at the moment. So I wanted to mention that before we get out of here, because that list will certainly grow more and more as we inch closer to spring football returning.
All right. Thank you, CJ. We appreciate that. All right. Before we end things, let's thank our lead sponsor one more time, our friends over at Von Lane. We appreciate them and all their support. Now that you're back to business, getting back to the conferences and the meetings, a lot of you are traveling those short routes via obviously driving yourself, or you're flying those short routes and dealing with flight delays and dealing with TSA lines and dealing with traffic and road rage and dealing with jet lag. Why do that to yourself when you have the option of Von Lane? Von Lane delivers a first-class travel experience on the ground. You board in minutes at a private hotel terminal. You settle into one of just 22 oversized leather seats. Enjoy complimentary Wi-Fi, snacks, beverages, and hot towel service on every trip. And on select departures, they even have complimentary meals. They've actually upgraded their entire fleet with Starlink internet across the entire fleet, making Wi-Fi even faster and more reliable. Von Lane serves Austin right now, Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, Plano, the Woodlands as well, Nashville, Memphis, Atlanta, and Knoxville. And if you're traveling with the team, you can simply order and charter your own Von Lane coach, designing the trip from pickup to drop off. You can visit vonlane.com to find out how, VONLANE.com. And if it's your first time riding, you can enter the code OTF26 at checkout to receive $20 off your first ride with Von Lane. That's Von Lane, your private jet on wheels. Thank you very much to our friends at Von Lane for sponsoring the Winning Drive, the Prime Time edition. All right. Thank you very much to Matthew behind the scenes. Nobody does it better. We appreciate Matthew always twisting and tweaking the dials, doing a great job. Thank you to Stevie Lee, courtesy of our friends at Hardgrove Roofing, coming on with us as well. Appreciate him each and every Monday. Coach, thank you for the wisdom and the levity. CJ, appreciate all your expertise and knowledge. If we missed any of your questions, we apologize about that, but please direct them to the gentleman at Coffee and Football bright and early tomorrow morning, Bobby Burton and Jerry Hamilton at 8:15. And then we have your Tuesday night live stream. CJ Vogel is going to be a part of that, along with Jeff Howe is going to be a part of that Tuesday night live stream at 7:15. Also, go check out the website on TexasFootball.com if you want to be connected with the best inside sources about Texas football. Great team over there at OnTexasFootball.com. For CJ and for Coach and for Matthew, I'm Lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers. Until next time, hook 'em horns.
Welcome.